Before I start the video, some people have been mentioning how my audio is bad, very, very kindly, of course. That's mostly because I do not have a very good microphone. I'm using one on, my headphones, and the second reason is because I'm locked in my mom's basement. You know, when I was younger, like all early 2000s kids, I was intertwined with animation studios, like DreamWorks, Pixar, Laika, Hell on Earth. But out of all of them, the one that all kids my age was raised on was Disney. And for those kids who haven't sold their souls to Cocomelon, it still is that way.
We don't talk about Bruno, no.
And back then, I would eat this Disney stuff up, like Little Mermaid, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Bambi, Lion King, all the good stuff. Also, growing up, most of these movies has gotten better, even on rewatch. But one movie that has really stuck with me, and one that I will always come back to, is 1998's Mulan. Although I do not think it is the best Disney movie, off the top of my head, it at least makes the top 3 in my favorite Disney movie. Just because whenever I sit down, put it on, I am swelled with the music, comedy, characters, atmosphere, charm, and just about everything in the movie, making being one of my favorite animated films of all time. And despite its few flaws, I would go out on a limb to say that it is a masterpiece.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you next episode. Next episode we're going to be talking about why Fortnite is the best.
What? Live action? Oh, no. I hate Mulan's live action movie so freaking much. Even some of the movies that I hate, I can still get an ironic enjoyment out of them, like Shark Tales. But no, Mulan is the epitome of a truly worthless experience. Not only does it attempt to slap the original movie in the face by proving how much more mature it is, not only does it have some pretty sketchy film production, not only is it poorly filmed, directed, and acted piece of cinema, but they removed Mother freaking Mushu. Come on, that's like one of the 10 holy commandments. I can at best tolerate some of these movies, but this one, I just can't. So today, I'm going to be completely and utterly destroying this movie, but at the same time, raising up the actual good movie. Kinda like bullying. You can't compare them. They're completely different movies, because the story of Mulan was originally a poem. Therefore, it's an adaptation of the poem. Out of the Disney princess line,
Not a Disney princess!
Mulan is probably one of the least talked about Disney princesses, aside from, Pocahontas.
Well, that's what you get for being a bad movie.
Which is a shame, because I would say Mulan is, one of the most well-grounded protagonists ever. Not even in princess standards. We can see how she struggles to fit in. We can see how she goes outside the social norm. We can see how she clearly breathes in the themes of the plot. Also, she's not a literal plank of wood. But her father, you know how the story goes, who is old and has several injuries, is drafted in the war, so she decides to take his armor and disguise herself as a man to fight in the war with no fighting skills or particular talents that could aid her in war. But that's not the point. The point is that Mulan is so compassionate that she is willing to give up her own life and kind of honor to save one of her family members. Please keep this in mind. So she enters the army, and straight up, she sucks. She is basically the worst soldier there for the first few days or months or whatever. Her freaking general straight up walked up to her in song form, said, "Pack up, go home, you're through." So you know at that point, you're done goofed. But through intellect and determination, she's able to do things that the men can do by working hard and gaining skills. With her proving that although as a woman you may not have the exact same strengths as a man, but with hard work and using your own special skills, you can still accomplish the same things. And though in some scenarios it can't work that way, but it's still a great message for kids and even adults to learn from. Oh, also, she's not a literal plank of wood. So Mulan is a spectacular Disney character with charm, wit, great chemistry with the other characters, and overall an S-tier Disney princess.
Did I mention that she's not a plank of wood?
So listen, guys, we need to make a live adaptation for the next Mulan. So remember, we gotta make her kind, determined, hardworking. We should also give her some leeway to become a strong...
Excuse me?
Mickey, Overlord, sir, I have an idea.
Sure, what?
Okay, so, get this. How about instead of giving her an actual personality and character growth, we just make her super overpowered and have no personality?
Excuse me, who are you?
I'm the janitor, so call me Ted.
Ted, that is the coolest idea I've ever seen. Not only are you promoted, but I am now going to literally marry you. Get over here.
Giving Mulan chi is such a stupid idea. Instead of giving your lead character time to develop, instead she's instantly powerful and barely has to work for it. But don't worry, she'll learn some things, like how to carry buckets of water. Zam!
Gotcha! Freaking movie, you ruined the whole point of hard-working, determined character who we're supposed to care about, but on her plate to save her father. But why should I care about her saving an asshole when throughout the entire movie he's horrible? But don't worry, her actual reason to continue is to serve the other asshole emperor. That's the thing with this movie. They either make the characters that you love into complete assholes or forgettable trash.
Speaking of forgettable trash, did I mention any of the side characters? I don't really have to, because they're basically background characters. The three distinguished friends to Mulan feel like background characters. But at least they don't get disrespected like my boy Chang. They basically split him in half for this old general guy and this creepy loser who I still cannot tell whether the movie is trying to tell us that he's creepy or if he's a friendly dude who just casually acts like he's someone who eats human skin for a living. And don't even get me started on the villain. One of my very few issues with the original Mulan was that the villain was not all that memorable, so maybe they could have changed it. But guess what? Instead of one lackluster villain, we get two! Which is just great, because she's the biggest freaking change in the entire movie compared to the original. And you might be thinking on paper, wouldn't giving Mulan a villain character that reflects Mulan's struggles and themes and is more of a personal threat, wouldn't that be a good villain idea? Well, remember, friend, that's just on paper. Burnable, icky paper that's been peed on by raccoons. Because honestly, why you would need another villain to do this role instead of just buffing up the original villain? Well, that's because Mulan needs someone who's a girl to relate to her or something. Friggin' bullcrap. And a simple contrast would be like you would make the villain have lost a leg or give him connections to Mulan's father. I don't know. But has a relationship with the villain anyway. Oh, it's awful, thanks for asking. The movie does its best to make her sympathetic by doing the whole we're not so different you and I shtick by I'm a woman with super awesome powers. But I can't use them because the Emperor is an asshole for no particular reason. Teehee, just like you! And then the final act, she says that they should team up. Like, come on. Why do you need to team up with the other loser in the first place? Because clearly you're so strong. Honestly, Disney, dishonor. Dishonoring your whole family. Dishonor on you. Dishonor your cow. Dishonor your... I have like 10 more jokes at this, but I'm gonna keep it short. Original Mulan characters, good. Poopy dog water one, bad. When people try to make live adaptations, or hell, even adapting something to a different medium, changes gotta be made. Some might try to change the plot that people have criticized, or others to make it work in a different medium, like making a musical adaptation. You're gonna need music. So speaking of music, have I ever mentioned Mulan's music? Despite having less musical numbers than your average Disney movie, Mulan has 4, and all 4 are bangers. Not only are they good, like, works of freaking music, they give off important information and even develop the characters. Bring Honor to Us All shows how Mulan struggles to fit in and society's expectations of women. Reflection explains her struggles of fitting in and having no idea who she truly is. Make a Man of You perfectly paces how she develops into a badass, gaining relationships and respect in under 4 minutes. And for a girl worth fighting for, we'll get into that in a moment. So, when your great movie has great songs and show important information and character development and establishments, so quick question, why did you remove them? Okay, to be fair, they were going for a more mature theme, and people singing out of nowhere, I guess, isn't exactly very realistic.
Though you could have added make a man out of you or girl with fighting for as like a war shanty. But besides the point,
As I've already explained, these songs have very important storytelling qualities. So they need to figure out a proper way of putting them in to like make it seem smooth without the music. And actually, to my surprise, they did a really good job.
no, they failed horribly. Kill me. The amount of important scenes that they botched in this movie amazes me.
And do not hit me with they're all doing a completely different kind of movie that resembles the whole point. Well, why does it reference the old movie, play some of the music, and follows most of the plot points? But the movie cannot, for the love of its own self, cannot figure out what it wants to be. It wants to be a live adaptation of the original movie. Yet it removes its main themes, songs, and even full-on scenes and characters. And yet it also wants to be a super mature action series that is realistic to the poem and culture. And yet it has goofy, non-realistic concepts like chi and invites ideas that only Western audiences have. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, tune back at part 2 because YouTube's being a bitch and not letting me post anything over 50 minutes. Bye!